You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, all you pet parents. You're listening to Best Bets for Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. I have a really good show for you today. You know, we want our pets to feel good and be happy. And it's important, you know, if your pets are happy, then we're happy, nothing to worry about. One of the main things that really plagues our pets are ear and skin infections. I have a product that you're going to love to hear about. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Petco, where the pets go. Petco, where the pets go.
Pet Life Radio has tail-wagging, fur-flying, fabulous deals for our listeners from Petco. Get $6 off your order of $60 or more and up to 40% off the entire Petco site. That's right, but that's not all. Because you're a Pet Life Radio listener, you'll also get free shipping on your order of $49 or more. $6 off, up to 40% off, and free shipping from Pet Life Radio and Petco. To get these awesome deals, go to PetcoDeals.com. That's PetcoDeals.com.
Petco, where the pets go. Dyson.
The new Dyson Animal Vacs are powerful bagless upright vacuums for homes with pets. Air muscle and radio root cyclone technology generates the strongest suction power to powerfully remove dust, dirt, and pet hair from the home or car. To order your Dyson Animal Vac, go to PetLifeRadio.com/Dyson. PetLifeRadio.com/Dyson to order your Dyson Animal Vac today.
Dyson, music to your ears.
Welcome to Sassy Seniors, a show about our fabulous older dogs and cats. I'm your host, Kelly Jackson. You know, I wanted to create a show to really showcase our senior pets. And, you know, as the human population ages and lives longer, of course, so are our wonderful pets. But many of us with aging pets, it's so interesting. We have a tough time realizing or really admitting that they are seniors. So, in a way, I kind of like to think of our senior pets as wise puppies. What do you think about that? Be sure to join us for another edition of Sassy Seniors. And remember, celebrate your senior pets.
Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com. Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, listeners. Welcome back. I have with me today Pamela Bosco, and she is the president of Pet King Brands. Welcome, Pamela.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Your product, it's ZYMOX?
Yes. Yeah, actually we have two lines. The one's a ZYMOX dermatology or skin and ear care on the retail side, and the other one is Biotene veterinary, which is our oral care line.
Okay. And, you know, both are real important for keeping our pets healthy. We're talking today about the ZYMOX line, and that's for chronic skin and ear conditions.
Yes.
What can you tell our listeners about the product, just as an overall, what it can do for their pets?
I think what they have to think first when they think about ZYMOX is a natural skin and ear care line of products. We follow a chemistry that is very close to a product that's on the human side called Biotene, which is an oral care line for people suffering from xerostomia or dry mouth, and so it's an enzymatic-based product. And the nice thing about using enzyme systems is because they're very close to the way the body treats any kind of problem, and it's much safer and much more convenient and easy to use than anything like an antibiotic. It does less side effects and things like that. So ZYMOX follows the same enzyme system. It's called the LP3 enzyme system to treat skin and ear infections.
Is this for dogs and cats or just dogs?
Actually, the beauty behind using ZYMOX and the chemistry is that it's non-species specific. It means you can use it on cats, dogs, horses, exotic animals like ferrets, rabbits, anything like that. It's very safe.
Oh, that's great. Now, what's the importance of keeping our dog's ear clean, and how often should we clean our pet's ears?
Actually, we don't promote cleaning necessarily. Our line of products, we do have a cleanser, but and some dogs do suffer from dirty ears that lead to chronic ear infections down the road. But the real beauty behind ZYMOX is the ear solution, which is a treatment, more or less. It's to help with any kind of pussy ears that are actually like smelly or have like an infection in them. The enzyme system forms like an ion that's antimicrobial. So it's a very safe way of helping relieve those issues. And that's pretty much what's most popular about ZYMOX. It's a once-a-day, no pre-clean protocol for dogs who actually have chronic ear infections.
Okay, all right, for chronic ear infections. Now, is there a product that you might use preventative if your dog likes to swim a lot, maybe?
Well, that's the other beauty behind using the enzyme system is, again, we keep going back why this system is so perfect for many reasons. And because, again, it's not an antibiotic, we don't have resistance when it's used over and over again. So because of that, we can use it as a preventative. Once you've used it on the dog, the ear infection is gone. What you can do then is do it once a day, once or every other week, as a dog requires it if they're prone to ear infections down the road. So they can use it as a preventative. And that way the dog doesn't have an ear infection that comes up. And then they also don't develop resistant to the treatment.
Okay, and this is over the counter. There's no prescription needed?
Originally, it originated on the veterinarian side. So the veterinarians loved it. They've been using it for many years. And now the ZYMOX ear solution, 0.5% hydrocortisone, is available in the retail channel.
Oh, that's great. Now, ZYMOX also has something for skin infections, like hot spots and that sort of thing. How does that work?
Because ZYMOX, the chemistry is broad spectrum, you can use it anywhere on the body. And we do have the OTIC, the ear solution, for the ear problems. But we also have a cream and a spray that can be used on any kind of topical problem involving maybe a skin infection, a wound that's opened up, you don't want to prevent an infection from coming, or a hot spot where it's actually like an allergy type of system that becomes chronic and moist and very irritating and inflamed and then can cause a secondary infection. So yes, we have a spray and a cream for any kind of topical skin problem or irritation.
What are some of the other products that are in the ZYMOX line?
We have a shampoo and rinse. The shampoo and rinse has a vitamin D3 added to help with any kind of inflammations on the skin, irritated and inflamed skins, things like that. Again, it's non-species specific. It's non-toxic, and it can be used on the young and the old, and it's very, very gentle. And the nice thing also about that system is the conditioning rinse is a leave-on, so you don't have to rinse it off completely. And we like to think of that as your second treatment to those skin problems. Because once you wash your dog with a shampoo, what do you do afterwards? You have to wait then till the next washing. With our rinse, you don't. You put it on, and it has like a residual of enzymes that work until your next washing.
And does this keep off some, of the conditioning rinse, some of the besides making your dog's coat look nice, does it keep off some of the bacteria, that sort of thing?
Yes, it leaves like a residual, like I said, the enzymes look like a protective barrier. Because your first primary defense on any kind of skin infection is the skin. So you first want to cause no harm to that. You don't want to irritate it. You don't want to get it inflamed, because then it opens up the barrier and allows infections and secondary opportunistic bugs to come in and cause an infection. So you first want to protect that, soothe that, keep it nice. And ZYMOX has no irritating ingredients. So first of all, you're actually protecting your skin barrier. Secondly, it leaves a residual of these enzymes on that will help prevent any or kill any microbes that are in skin that could be opportunistic bugs and just lying there in wait.
Very interesting. What are some of the other products that Pet King Brands has?
We also have an oral care line. We do have a ZYMOX oral care that will be coming out soon. It's in the development right now. So same thing as Biotene veterinarian, you have enzymes that can be used for the oral health of your pet. And that is very good, and the reason that most of your systemic infections sometimes from the mouth, from the oral route, and it can cause heart disease and things like that. So you really want to have a nice, healthy mouth and pets. And ZYMOX and Biotene veterinarian, these enzymes are naturally found in most of your mucous membranes in your body. So like your salivary glands, things like that have this natural defense mechanism. So when you put this back in the mouth, a lot of animals, it's like geriatrics, you have poor saliva, and because of that, they're more prone to tartar, plaque buildup, things like that can cause teeth deterioration. So this enzyme system will go in and replace what the saliva or healthy saliva isn't doing for them. And it can be used long term. So it's nice, and it's also convenient. We do have a water additive, a mouthwash, and a brushless tooth gel. So you can apply those throughout the day and keep your pet's mouth healthy.
Now, does this help with, say, you have a dog that is impossible to brush the dog's teeth? would this be something that you can use instead of brushing?
Yes, we consider our system brushless because we've had two dual enzyme systems, and one is the LP3 enzyme system, which is bacteriostatic, so inhibits the microbes in the mouth, the bad microbes in the mouth. And the other system is a mutinase dextrinase enzyme system that actually removes plaque biofilm. That's the slime on the teeth before it turns into this calculus, this hard calculus. And if they used every day, it inhibits this calculus from forming. And so, yes, we consider this system brushless.
And what is it, just a gel that you squirt in the dog's mouth or something you add to the water? How would you use it?
3 different applications. We try to make this very convenient for pet owners. We have a water additive, so it's 2 pumps or 2 mils per liter of water. They can drink it all day long. And then we also have a mouthwash, just squirt in the mouth throughout the day, how often you can remember. And then lastly, we have a tooth gel. It's a clear gel, tasteless, very mild. Dogs and cats love it. You just put it on the teeth once or twice a day and you're done.
That's much easier than brushing, especially,
It sure is.
I don't know anyone who can brush a cat's teeth. I mean, I've heard of it, but I think that'd be very challenging.
Yeah, we do recommend the gel, preferably for cats for that reason. A lot of times cats even don't drink enough water to be effective, so we always say at least you know how much gel is getting in the cat's mouth throughout the day. And the nice thing, too, about the gel form in our system, in our chemistry, is that it's not bitter. A lot of the gels and tooth products you have out there contain chlorhexidine and chemicals like that are very bitter to taste. They aren't even used on the human side anymore. They're strong antiseptics. They're actually sterilizing the mouth. So you don't want to do that long term to any kind of mouth because what you're doing is you're destroying the natural flora in the mouth. We don't do that with our enzyme system. It's very natural. It's very safe. It's not bitter. It's very pleasant to the animals.
Now, these are great products. Where can our listeners find out more about Pet King brands, about the ZYMOX products, and find out where to purchase them?
They can go to ZYMOX.com, get more information. They can call the company, and they can also go to PetKingBrands.com, which is our veterinarian website.
Now, you also have information on your website about more of the scientific analysis of these products.
Yes, there's lots of information out there. We have studies, clinical studies. You know, anyone who's interested more about how these products work can give us a call. And it's been around the chemistry has been around and studied in the veterinary side and the medical side for many, many years. They know its properties. They know how safe it is. ZYMOX and Biotene Veterinary uses a very sound scientific chemistry in all their products.
Well, it's been interesting. I find it especially interesting because Biotene, which is I was taking some allergy medicine that caused dry mouth, and I actually purchased Biotene because my dentist recommended it and said during this time you should use this. I know it's a big thing for people. You know, if your mouth is dry, it affects your mouth, you know, the cleanliness of your mouth and your teeth and so forth. So I guess this is pretty much the same for animals.
Yes, people don't realize that xerostomia is a problem for good oral health. If you have a change in saliva, or poor saliva, you know, no saliva, you are very prone to decay and periodontal disease, anything like that. So you want a healthy saliva. Same thing goes for animals. People don't realize that possibly their dog or cat does have unhealthy saliva. We've had geriatric patients out there that are on medications. Many medications for human side cause dry mouth. They do the same for animals. Animals are on many of the same medications that humans are. There's diabetes, there's autoimmune disorders like Sjogren's. A lot of things like this are also symptomatic in animals. So the first thing you should do is look at your animal's mouth. It doesn't have plaque. You know, is there a lot of tartar and things like that build up? And then you can suspect that maybe it's because of an unhealthy salivary system that they have. And the only way really to combat that is to supply them with things that are naturally found in healthy saliva, like Biotene Veterinarian. And that's why we always support that, and that's why it has such popularity on the human side, because it really did solve a lot of the problems that came with xerostomia for humans.
This is really interesting, and it just goes to show we're not that different from our pets, you know?
No, not at all.
Listeners, you can find out more about ZYMOX and Pet King brands on the episode segment of this show. Thank you, Pamela, so much for coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling our listeners all about this great information that ZYMOX and Pet King brands and great products that they have.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It was wonderful.
I'd like to thank my test team, Mr. Z, Nikki, and Dennis, for doing a great job testing out all these fantastic products, and my producer, Mark Winter, for making me and my guests sound great. And stay tuned. We'll be right back with another great show.
We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Every pet is unique. Maybe they're gray in the muzzle, yet young at heart. Maybe they're growing out of the puppy stage and into their paws and ears. Or maybe they're just trying to maintain a more girlish figure. At PetSmart, we have the right food for your pet at a great value for you. PetSmart. Be better together.
Go to PetLifeRadio.com/PetSmart and save up to 30% on toys, collars, leashes, PetSmart gift cards, treats, and more. Go to PetLifeRadio.com/PetSmart today.
How would you like your business to reach out and invite in our audience? We have a brand new trademark concept called InfoSeeds. InfoSeeds are short 20-second seeds of information about your place of business, practice, or service. Is the best, most cost-effective way to invite us in. We only have a limited number of slots left. For more information, visit the website
PetLifeRadio.com.
Click on sponsorship information. There you can listen to a sample of InfoSeed. Remember, only a limited number of opportunities are available.
Hi, I'm Angelina. Join me for some great training tips to live a happy, healthy, peaceful life together with your best friend. And by the way, they're not the only ones that learn something new. Join me for Teacher's Pet on Pet Life Radio.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Everyone, welcome back. Now, we're talking about our dogs again. We love them, but we hate walking them. At least I hate walking mine when they're pulling or juggling a couple leashes when it's raining. Not fun. It's pretty difficult to do. I have a great solution for you. I have with me today Michael Young. He is the president of Wacky Walker. Welcome, Michael.
Hi, Michelle. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being on the show. Now, you have a really interesting product, the Wacky Walker, and then you have its, I guess, sidekick, the coupler, crazy coupler.
That's a good way to put it. The sidekick, the crazy coupler, absolutely.
I tried both, was very impressed. But before we, I guess, dive into things, can you tell our listeners a little bit about the Wacky Walker and the crazy coupler?
Sure. The Wacky Walker, it's a very simple concept. Our leashes and couplers, all of our product line are made from exercise tubing, latex tubing, the same material that's used in the fitness industry. And as I said, it's a real simple concept. When that dog pulls, all of the energy is absorbed in our tubing, making it for a much easier, more comfortable walk for both the dog and the walker. When the dog pulls, the leash responds and gently corrects the dog. That's our main concept. We call it a simple concept, revolutionary results.
I did try it, and I have two dogs. They're different sizes, but I did try the product out on dogs with the same size and so forth when we get into things with the crazy coupler. But yeah, the little one pulls like crazy. And I have another little one that, I mean, he's mighty. He's 20 pounds of power, this one, and he's a crazy puller. And I noticed a tremendous difference walking him.
And that's just it. A lot of people, even with small dogs, people with big dogs don't think that small dogs can pull. Actually, small dogs, pound for pound, probably pull harder, lower center of gravity. And people, even with dogs as small as 3-4 pounds, they definitely benefit from our product. We have different sizes to accommodate a dog that's 2 pounds up to a dog that's 200 pounds. Different diameter tubing offers different level of resistance. So as you mentioned with your small guys, our leash is extremely effective, as well as it's effective with a big mastiff that's 190 pounds. It's a self-correcting leash, so it's extremely effective.
Now, you also have different length sizes, correct?
We do. We have 2 length leashes. Our regular Wacky Walker, which is our longest leash, it has a 3-foot section of tubing that stretches to 6 feet, which is great for people that like a little bit more room to roam, maybe more park walking, non-city walking. For people that are looking for a little bit more control and that may live in the city, for sidewalk walking, we offer the shorter version, which is called the Wacky Walker Urban. It's half the length of our long leash, has a 1.5-foot section of tubing that will stretch to 3 feet. All of our products have a secondary handle built into the product. So instead of wrapping that leash around your hand when you need to curb your dog or bring them close, when other dogs are approaching or crossing the street, instead of wrapping that leash around your hand to keep them close, you simply reach down and slip your hand through our lower loop. It's extremely effective, especially when it's paired with that crazy coupler that we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
Well, it's a great idea. How did you come up with the idea, or how was the idea developed?
I did come up with the idea. I came up with the idea and patented the products. Believe it or not, it's not a very exciting story. I was in a shoe store and I saw a pair of flip-flops that had this little piece of this material in the design of the flip-flops, and while I was waiting in line, I thought, well, that might be kind of a cool dog leash. So we went through a number of prototypes until we kind of honed the design down to a style that we thought would be marketable, and we debuted the product a few years back, 6 years ago, and people went crazy. It's something different. It's unique. It's kind of a self-correcting leash. There's really nothing else like it. Our leash offers solutions to everyday common dog walking problems that other leashes simply cannot.
It's a great idea, and I'm sure there are many grateful people that already have the Wacky Walker that are so glad you came up with it.
We do get a lot of emails like that, so thank you.
Can you tell our listeners what the crazy coupler is?
Absolutely. For the multiple dog owner family, we have designed the crazy coupler, which attaches to one of our leashes, either the Wacky Walker or the Urban. And now what happens is that allows you to walk two dogs, one leash, completely tangle-free. Now, most people think that when you put two dogs on one leash, their pulling power is doubled. And with a standard regular nylon or leathered leash, that is the case. Their pulling power is doubled. However, when they're attached to a Wacky Walker and crazy coupler, their pulling power is reduced by over 50%. All of their pulling power is kind of dispersed between these three sections of tubing. So therefore, one person that couldn't walk two big dogs now can. Or a child, for example, who couldn't walk up two big labs now can, because, like I said, their pulling power is reduced. They will never tangle. It's an extremely convenient way to walk two dogs. You can walk two dogs and drink a cup of coffee and have no problem.
I know that the crazy coupler, the ideal situation is that the two dogs are about the same height and weight.
Similar size is what we quote on our tags. You wouldn't want to walk, for example, a Chihuahua and a Great Dane. Obviously, that's an extreme example, but you want the dogs to be, within a few pounds. And you always want to go with a larger size. For example, if you have a 50-pound dog and a 40-pound dog, you'd want to go with a larger size set, which would be the extra large. All of these things can be found on our website or a dealer near you.
I actually went outside the box in my testing and tested it on a 40-pound dog and a 15-pound dog. I knew that it wasn't the ideal, and I thought, well, let me just see how it is. And it worked pretty well. It really did. One was, going under the other one a little bit because it is, like you said, it's not the ideal or even close to the, the best idea of what to do. But it worked. It was fine.
Well, great.
Yeah, they're used to two retractable leashes. So it was, they got used to it and then they were fine. And I think it's a great idea, even if you don't always walk two different sized dogs together, because if you have a situation, it's raining or
Sure.
It's nighttime or something, you just want a quick walk, you could just do both and carry a flashlight, an umbrella, or whatever else you need.
That's a good idea. No, I agree.
I tried it also on dogs of similar size.
Okay.
And yeah, it worked great. They're far enough apart that they could do their business separately.
Yep.
And, so they don't get messed up in each other. Mm-hmm. And it just was easy to walk. And these are the two little ones are the pullers. So it was just much, much easier than the normal walk.
The other nice thing about it, Michelle, is that the dogs are pack animals. So the first walk may be a little bit, if your listeners aren't used to using a coupler, the first one or two walks may be a little bit odd for the dogs. But then after a few minutes or so, they get it and they understand that, hey, this is how we're supposed to walk, and it really does make it so much more enjoyable to walk two dogs than like you said earlier, having two leashes that you're always tangling or wrestling with. It's just a real nice way to walk two dogs.
Yeah, it was so much easier. Now, I know the ideal situation is the Wacky Walker with the crazy coupler. Can the crazy coupler be used on other leashes?
It can, as long as the other leash has a swivel hook at the end. They should also not tangle. We can't guarantee that with our products because we know that we have 3 swivel points, which makes it 100% tangle-free guaranteed. And the other advantage with using our leashes, like I said, the pulling power is greatly reduced. So that's kind of a nice feature of our complete system. And like I said earlier, that handle at the bottom, when you attach our leash to the coupler, and you need to keep both dogs right by your side, you can just simply reach down and grab that lower loop. So now you have both dogs right at your side, complete control. It's extremely convenient, and it's a real big selling feature for us. People love that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because the second handle, I learned a long time ago with a trainer that I work with, never to wrap the leash around your wrist because the dog can jump and take off and could break your wrist. You should always gather, the leash in your hand. And that's awkward for a lot of people. I see so many people wrapping the leash around their wrist.
Everybody does it, and it's a shame. It's unfortunate, but that's why we offer this alternative. Instead of wrapping that leash, we give you a second handle at the bottom.
It's a great idea. I know that we talked about the different sizes and everything, but, we like to glam it up sometimes, even for the boy dog. So what about designs for the Wacky Walker and Crazy Coupler? Are there different colors and that sort of thing?
There are. We have 11 different colors, and our colors are not your typical red, blue, and green. They are, a fluorescent red, a really crazy cool green. Our pinks, we have a great, extremely bright, vibrant, fluorescent purple and pink. We have a light pink, a pearl silver, just some different colors that you wouldn't see in your standard leash line. We also offer your basic black and a camouflage, but our colors are, what set us apart in addition to our functionality. The colors are just really, really amazing.
Where can our listeners find the Wacky Walker and the Crazy Coupler?
Right now, the Wacky Walker is sold all over the United States. We're getting better distribution throughout Canada. We have a few retailers in different parts of the world. We have a distributor in the UK. We have a distributor in Belgium. We have a distributor in Australia. So we're gaining exposure and international brand recognition. But for right now, I think the best thing to do would probably to check out our website, which is wackywalker.com. And there's no E in Walker. And they can find a dealer there by typing in their zip code. That's probably the best place to start.
Michael, is Wacky Walker coming out with any other new products?
Actually, it's a great question, Michelle. We are. We have a new product. It's basically a slip lead, which a lot of groomers and people that do short, quick walks, instead of having to put a collar on the dog, you can simply loop our nylon over the dog's head, and it becomes a slip lead. We're calling it the Slipper, and that's a great new product that we're very excited about. The other thing I wanted to tell you about, which I forgot to mention earlier, is that all Wacky Walker products, including the new Slipper, are reinforced with safety lines. So everything will only stretch twice their length. Some of your listeners may think, well, we don't have enough control. All of our products will eventually become, if the dog pulls the leash as far as it can go, will become a 6-foot leash. Chances are they're not going to be able to pull it that hard. And the other thing I wanted to mention to you about our products and the design is that they're made from latex tubing. And the latex actually smells like a balloon and therefore deters chewing. In general, dogs do not like the smell of our leashes. So there's a couple of nice kind of added features that went into the mix.
All right, great information. And listeners, you can find out more on the Wacky Walker website. It's wackywalker.com, WACKYWALKR.com. And there'll be more information on the episode section of this segment. Thank you so much, Michael, for coming on the show and telling our listeners all about the Wacky Walker and the Crazy Coupler and the Slipper.
Well, Michelle, thank you very much. Remember Wacky Walker's tagline, we won't jerk your chain.
That's so cute. Thanks, listeners, for listening to this segment of Best Bets for Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Thanks to my super testers that did such a great job testing the Wacky Walker and the Crazy Coupler. Thanks to Mr. Z and Nikki, and also Petey and Piggy for helping out test this great product. Thanks to my producer, Mark Winter, for making me and my guests sound great. And always, always thanks to all the listeners, aka pet parents out there, listening to the show. I appreciate it so much.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.